Hi, welcome to the pod. You're here with my friend Shen and I, and we're just join us. We're cooking dinner.
Welcome to my kitchen. Thanks for coming.
Thanks,
And thanks for having me on the pod.
Thanks for wanting to talk about it. You're one of the most interesting people I've ever met in my entire
I
life.
got real nervous. I think like an hour before you got here, I was like, woo. So I didn't have another. I thought about having another coffee, and I was like, maybe don't do that.
Fair enough. The nerves are normal.
I was like, just wait the hour and have a glass of wine.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think so. So,
Yes.
how's it going?
Oh man, I've had that. I was about to lie straight to your face and say, so good.
Oh my god.
Good. Yeah.
Great job.
So amazing and awesome and stunning. No, it's still good, but I've been hanging on to this so we can talk about it now.
Oh my god, okay, cool. Shoot, sis.
So, it's funny. So I'm going to give you what I was doing at the time. So I'm sitting there prepping for the Halloween party. I went as David Bowie, which means I had to like drag queen block my brows. So I'm doing that. And then Mum called for the daily catch up and I was like, hey girly, but it had been a couple of days. So I'm sitting there, eyebrows glued to my noggin. And we're just chatting, things and stuff. She goes, oh, by the way, I have like something to tell you. And I was like, cool, goss, because we love a goss. And she goes, I'm leaving your dad. And I was like,
What?
no brows. So I couldn't even like,
Wait, when's this?
last week.
Holy f-
Yeah. And I was like, okay. Because I had a little bit of a tiffy-wiffy last year. And she
I
came and
remember.
stayed. Yeah, she came and stayed. And then I was like, cool, they sorted that out.
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
So I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. They're both happy. Dad called me a couple of days later just to check in.
Okay.
And initially I was like, oh, okay, whatever, I'm a grown woman. Had a little cry and I was like, yeah, whatever. And then the next day,
The feels.
so bad. I was just like devastated. Not because like they're splitting up. If they're happy apart, then that's great, obviously.
Yeah.
But just because they've been such a solid support unit for me.
Yeah.
Over the last couple of years, that absolute shit show that has been the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So I was just like, oh my God.
Yeah, what do you fucking... How do you...
'Cause obviously they're still going to be my parents. That doesn't change. But them not being together and like when I go to the house, if I'm having, I just need to be in my safe space. It's still the same house, but they're not both going to be there.
Who will be there?
Mum. So Mum's going to they're going to get the house valued and Mum's going to buy Dad out and he's just going to buy a little unit somewhere.
They would
like,
just be so chill through all this.
Yeah, they're like,
They're so beautiful. I
yeah.
love your parents.
So I was like, oh. But the thing that I wanted to talk about anyway was that feels like the last thing without sounding too fucking woe is me dramatic.
Oh, you can say that.
That's yeah. I'm like, that's the last thing that was kind of, I feel like, holding me here and holding me back. So now I have this like sense of like, oh, I didn't want to go anywhere. I didn't want to move anywhere or do anything because I had that awful fear of everybody dying.
Yeah.
Not that my parents just died, but I'm like, well, it's not the same unit, so it doesn't matter. It's not the same.
That's cool.
So now I'm like, wow.
So you've had this realization that you were like hanging on to, not like fearing the change of anything.
Yeah, I couldn't leave because they were like my solid.
Yeah.
And now like everything's fucked.
Yeah.
My job's fucked, which I can't really talk about too much,
That's
but
fine.
my job's fucked. My parents aren't together anymore. My life was fucked before that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, what am I doing? I don't know. Just go and do something else. What are you sticking around for? So that's kind of what's come out of it a little bit. I'm like,
oh my God.
and I felt like that was the last. The universe was like, can you hear me?
That's huge.
Like there is no reason for you to stick around anymore. Got it? And I'm like, yes. It didn't have to be so harsh.
Wow.
So yeah, I've got this like.
I've got goosebumps. Where are you going?
I don't. Not obviously Tokyo would be my top pick. But
I just had this like really sad feeling and also a really excited feeling.
Yeah,
in my
right.
stomach.
I'm like,
I was just like, no, but also like, yay.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Because when I used to, like, as you know, I've wanted to do a stint
Fuck yeah.
in Japan for a long
You will
time.
thrive. This will be amazing.
But
whatever it is you do.
Nervous.
Yeah.
But now I don't, like, feel sick to my stomach when I think about moving. I'm like, oh, that could be fun.
Oh my God.
But
This is a blessing in disguise.
maybe Europe. I don't know. I've never been there, but
Oh my
I want to do a little trip
You'll
to
love
Europe, and then maybe boot scoot over there for a bit. I don't know. But I want to boot scoot.
Yeah. Oh my God. Imagine going to Europe and going to all those like super fucking old places, like, and visiting just all this interesting shit, like going and doing a tour of the catacombs and stuff like that.
And architecture and design and
Yeah, you'll fill your cup up so hard.
Yeah.
And you deserve that so much. Like, if anything, you just need to live in your absolute fullest. Like, you have such a capacity for so many amazing things, and you see the world in such a rich way. Like, you see all the colours or something.
Yeah, so I think I'm finally ready. And I guess the other thing to that as well was like, I don't know why I feel, is it lonely? I don't know. Maybe. I'm going to go with lonely. I don't know if that's the right word to use, but I'm going to go with lonely. Here, and that's nothing to do with friends or family or whatever, I just feel out of place, maybe. Yeah. And uncomfortable. Yeah. Don't know what it is. Love it. Stun.
Yeah.
But I feel out of place and uncomfortable.
I know what
and
you
I've
mean.
gotten to the point now, I'm like, well, then go somewhere else. And if you're uncomfortable there, it's no different. You might as well go and be uncomfortable somewhere else.
Yeah.
Because right now you're uncomfortable in your home. And that's weird.
That is weird.
So if you actually go and be lonely and go and be alone.
Yeah.
Because I think that'll be really good.
It will. No, totally, I back this. I'm like,
oh,
there's
man.
a lot happening in my head at once.
Yeah.
Listening to this.
Did you just hear that? Did you just hear that? We went from parents divorcing to art in Paris. Like, where?
You need to do that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I've been holding that in all week. I was like, I've got all these ideas. I love telling you my ideas because you're always like, yeah, best idea ever.
I love it. I'm so lucky that you were like, yeah, let's just talk about it in the pod. So, okay. So, the dude you're seeing, we're seeing, are seeing,
No dudes.
Great. So, like,
Yeah, there's nothing.
nothing holding you back. You can just fucking go.
No dudes. Yeah.
I think it's amazing. And, like, however you're feeling, you know the whole thing about, like, moving and your feelings going with you or whatever, I genuinely think that might not be the case with this. Because you already, like, honestly don't know what more you could do to change your internal situation apart from go with the flow. Like, you're at the point where you need to just step with the universe and go with the flow now.
Yeah.
Like, you've done, like, there'll always be more work to do developing yourself, more learning throughout life. But, like, for your current cycle that you've been in and going through all this, like, insane shit, you have done so much growth and so much, like, you're so self-aware. And as, like, you're also one of the most mentally healthy people I know, which you might fucking laugh at. I knew you would.
Name one time. Name one time. I'd love to hear it.
Oh my God. The way that you...
I try.
Anyone listening who, like, you'll hear about the backstory in a moment, I guess. But, so the way that you process trauma, grief, change, your own reactions to situations, the way that you're able to view where you're at, feel your way through things, like purge emotions, become familiar with what's inside you, become friends with yourself, communicate to other people, like uphold like beautiful relationships. You know what to do when you're feeling like you know what you need. And even though your life has been absolutely fucked lately, it's also like just watching you go through it is one of the most inspiring things in the entire world. And I know it's been the fucking worst, and I know that you've probably, I don't know, I like you said the other day, like you've realised that you've been really making yourself really proud, and you should. It's fucking insane watching you move through the world. And I just don't think that someone who was like mentally unhealthy could navigate it the way that you have. I think that's a huge sign, and like the inner stability that you have. Even if you feel like it's a fucking shit show in there, you're killing it.
It's that resilience I fucking hate talking about. That makes me really angry. But now I'm like, oh my God, they were right.
Yeah, isn't that so weird?
I'm like, oh yeah.
Can you like touch on that again? For everyone
So
who wasn't me listening to you yesterday.
you know when you go through a tough time or some just back-to-back shit things, or even just one shit thing, and you move through it because you have to.
Yeah.
It's like the world doesn't stop, right? So you're like, okay, well, I'm just going to keep going.
I fucking hate that, by the way. But yeah.
Even like talking about it makes me a little bit angry.
Yeah.
And people are like, wow, you're so strong. Oh my God, I know it's shit now, but you're building up resilience. And I'm like, this is the last thing I want to be told. Shut the fuck up. I don't want to be resilient. I don't want to be strong.
Yeah.
I don't want to be any of these things because it's
forced into the situation.
Yeah,
You're like, I have to be.
I have to be, and I don't want to be. And it just used to make me so angry.
Yeah.
Used to make me angry. It made me angry up until like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Seriously, not even that long ago.
Yeah.
It just made
But
me
a
hot and
revelation
angry.
can happen like that in the blink of a moment.
But because I'm kind of coming out of that now, I can see it. I'm like, oh shit, I am.
Yeah.
Look at me, I am strong. So I can say it, but if any of you guys say it, you're pissed off.
Yeah.
But they're right. Mum, you're right. Mum and Dad.
That's so beautiful.
You are right, I am resilient. And I'm still pissed off that it had to be.
Yeah.
But that's life, isn't it?
Yeah. And fast forward into like the future even more. Like, you already talk like this, actually. You already, like, in conversations that we've had, speak about how this stuff kind of, I don't know, like anytime you're talking about something and you're like telling me about something you're working through or whatever, and I'm like, give you the frame of the future looking back at the situation in one way or another, and you're like, yeah, no, totally, I see it that way. And I'm like, holy fuck, you're incredible. Like, if I was in your shoes and someone said that to me, I'd be like, okie dokie, yes, I do. Okay.
Sure,
I
lady.
understand. I'll get there eventually, but I
Yeah.
understand. But you're just like, you already, it's like you have a past, present, future view of your situation or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I guess I've always kind of gone through life like that. I've always just gone bigger picture.
Yeah.
I'm always like
important.
you. I think that's why we get along so well.
Yeah.
I'm super hyper aware of how everyone is doing around me and feeling,
Yeah.
and just like how things are moving. I'm very aware of that, so I think that helps in
It does.
this kind of situation.
Yeah. I've always really liked that trait about myself, and then I got a bit sad about it because I saw someone on TikTok talk about it, and they were like, you only have that ability because you had to for like for survival.
Yeah,
And I was
100%.
like, oh, that's
that's a
true.
sad
And I
thing.
was like, I did, and then I thought about all the times that I was like being hyper aware to survive or to like
Just
get
like-
by.
Yeah,
Yeah, and you're like,
100%.
oh, and then you feel a bit like sad for yourself for a second, and you like, you know, give your inner child a hug about it, and then come back to your present self where it's like, yeah, it's a good skill I got.
You know, you do. You're like, oh, sorry, little Shan. But at the same time, if little Shan didn't have to be like that, big Shan would be so fucked.
Yeah.
She'd be useless.
Oh,
I'd be
fucking-
so useless.
Oh, I cannot imagine being. I know.
Although I wish I was. I wish I was just floating through.
Just a jellyfish.
Seriously, like some people, just like, I don't know, hey, it's fine. Just have no care, no depth, no nothing. And not, that sounds really mean, but just like only aware of themselves. I'm not feeling good. That's a shame. You're not
like-
feeling good. Oh well. You know? They care too much.
It's like if you could marry that cruisy nature, that like go with the flow, float like a jellyfish, whatever comes, neither here nor there nature, with like all of the self-awareness that you develop through trauma, like
You
that.
just have a little
Like that's the ideal,
gorgy
right?
little,
Yeah.
right?
That's
But I
actually-
cannot be like that.
Justin, this blows my fucking mind. And I've had conversations with girlfriends that are just like, what do you mean? He's had no trauma. How is he not a piece of shit? I'm like, so, I don't. I think he was just raised right. And I love his parents. Like, his parents are amazing. So I'm like, I genuinely think like maybe someone else down the line broke their generational trauma already.
Yeah, yeah.
And like now they're like just producing angels. Because
Ideally, if you've just had like the best of the best upbringing,
Yeah.
I mean, they make, you know, whatever.
there's always exceptions, but in my experience, if I've met someone who's had absolutely no struggle and trauma, or just don't get along, not that, to say that I don't like them, but it's like I can't really relate, and I feel like they don't understand the world the way I understand
Yeah.
it. They don't
They
understand like the good and the bad, and all of like they just, there seems to be like a certain level to which they're understanding caps, and that's it.
they hit the ceiling and they're like,
Yeah.
I don't understand. And you're like, oh, that must be nice.
And that's fine. Yeah. It would be lovely.
I'm like, let me in there.
But in saying that, I only really recently, like this year, after going through like all of my shit, like after Nanny and all of that, I remember like just like scream crying in the car about my dad. I was like, why did you get us into this position?
Scream crying, I love it.
Yeah. And I was just like so angry, like so angry. I was like, all of your fucking decisions have trickled into my life. Like all of the things, like the way you view the world is part of the way I view the world, and I've had to undo that. All of the situation, like I've had to struggle so much because of the actions of the person who was in charge of me. And he doesn't even know to that extent because we can't really talk about it. Like I want to, and I hope one day he listens to all these, but I also hope he doesn't because I don't want to make him sad because I love him and I've been mending that relationship with him.
It's such a tough one,
But
isn't it?
Yeah, but I got to the point this year where I was like, oh, I am exactly where I am because of all that.
Yeah.
I have all of this. All I want is to help the world. All I want is to like lift people up with me, bring them up to my vibration and throw them up even higher and be like, go. And then hopefully one day a few of them turn around and help me as well. You know what I mean? Like I just want to keep helping people. And every single piece of shit thing that I've gone through that's been fucking hard, that I've been angry about or upset about or felt sad for myself about, has turned out to be one of the things, obviously, that I turn around and can be like, I understand where you're at. I can help you. Or I understand the root cause of this problem. I can do something about that or whatever. So now I look back and I'm like, kind of like, thanks, Dad. Like, do you know what I mean? But also like, thanks, Esther, for navigating the way through. Thanks, like, universe, for like helping me along, you know? Yeah.
110 billion%. Yes.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, I wish that didn't happen. But like, I guess thanks that did. I'm the same.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, really wish that didn't happen. But hey, look
where I am. Yeah. It's like weird gratitude for it.
I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you want to talk about more of your life?
Yeah. How I ended up here.
Yeah. Should we just go on a timeline?
Yeah.
Okay. Take us back to whatever year you like.
Well, no. Things were fine.
Good.
Up until... What do you need, Dolly?
I was just like, should we cook at the same
I
time?
better... I'll turn the... You know what? I'll turn the rice on.
Yeah. Because then I was like, we'll just talk. But if you don't want to cook yet and you want to pod, we can just go to the couch.
Because this won't take long.
It's up to you. I don't mind.
Because this won't take long at all. This is like maybe a 10 minutes, a 15-minute thing in total. So should we keep potting and then cook later?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to bring the camera up. Can I sit on this?
Yes, that was Chelsea's.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
You're in the Chels corner, actually. This is hers, the table's hers, and the plant.
Chels. Hello.
Hello.
Nestle into my Chels corner.
Oh, should we
What do you
move
need?
her over there? Put Chelsea in the Chels corner.
Oh, if you want. The whole thing's in shot.
She's in a taco.
Oh my god.
So classic.
Oh, I love the little flowers in the frame. She's beautiful.
Even when she's eating a taco.
Legit, hey.
Always.
Always. Oh, I love it. All right.
Gorge.
It's perfect.
Comfy?
Yes.
Happy?
I'm ready. Take us on the timeline.
It's a timeline. Oh my gosh. 2 years. We'll go from there.
Cool. So what year? Where are we? 2021?
2021, yeah. So I was stood down from work in the airline industry. 2020, the world stopped. We remember.
Yeah. That's
It
right.
was real scary and then it was really fun for a bit.
Yeah.
Not the people dying, not the illness, but, you know, not having to work. Anywho,
Yeah.
I moved into the treehouse, barely knew these girls, and it was the happiest I've ever been. Time at Jules. I knew Lavina from being around the airport, but when she moved in, that was when we became attached at the hip.
Yep.
And then a couple of other girls were in and out, and they were amazing as well. But then Jules moved out to do a, brow business and all of that kind of stuff. And the other girl moved out. So we had 2 spare rooms. So my partner at the time moved in. And I was like, I've got another room. And Chels was like, I want to move out of Palmy. Have you still got that room? I was like, yeah, go. We were already friends, but again, when you live with someone, it goes either way. But yeah, once she moved in, again, attached to the hip.
Yeah.
Mostly because no one was working. We were home 24/7.
Yeah.
So that was weird. So she moved in early 2021. It was the time of our lives. Anywho, how do I tell this story?
However you want.
Yeah,
There's
right. Okay.
No right or wrong way.
No right or wrong.
And it's your story.
Just feels weird.
I know.
Because people react weird to it, I think. That's why I'm like...
Don't think about how other people are going to perceive this. That's their choice to perceive whatever they want, however they want. You can't control that. So all you can do is share your perception of it.
Yeah.
And your perception of it is fine and good and real and raw and normal.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Yeah.
Right. Well, okay. So... one night. We'll start in the afternoon. I feel like it's relevant. Chels had just gone to get her hair done. I had sent her to my stylist because he's unreal. I send everyone to him. And she came bouncing down.
Wait. One more thing. Mm. Can you tell people what Chels was like?
Chels, right. What was Chels like?
I think she's.
Right. So my partner at the time introduced me to Chelsea. And she was much like you when I first met you. From the get-go, I was like, oh, we're going to be friends. Yeah. And we met in the same place, the coffee shop that my ex-boyfriend was working in at the time. So same thing as you and I.
Yeah.
And she was just so easygoing, sat down. He had to work while we were there all the time.
I know.
It was so annoying.
I was just going
hours.
Out.
And just hours, just annoying. Anyway, so she rolls in and we're sat just drinking coffee. And then from then on out, hey, you coming for coffee in the morning? Hey, you coming for coffee in the morning? Do you want to come to this thing? Hey, the girls are having cocktails. Do you maybe want to come? So I introduced Chels to the other girls and all that kind of stuff. And just this warmth.
Yeah.
Much like you, the first time I met her, she was just warm.
She was so warm, hey?
She had this, aura about her. You just felt safe.
Yeah.
And I just knew. I was like, I'm going to be friends with this girl.
Yeah. She had that way of being able to communicate without judgment entirely. Hey?
Yeah, she's just an angel.
Yeah, literally.
Anyone that knows Chels or even met Chels briefly was they just know.
Yeah.
She's the sweetest, softest, warmest little bean.
I've never met someone who's impacted so many people.
Isn't it insane?
It's almost like anyone she interacted with, even for a second, would hold her in their heart forever.
Forever.
Yeah.
She just had that thing about it.
Yeah. Essence.
Essence? Thing. So I knew from the get-go. So she moved in with us. And then, like I said, from then on, it was just attached to the hip. And it was during lockdown, the second lockdown. So the border patrol, control was up. We couldn't leave. And it was when they were like, you're not really meant to go and lay out on the beach and things like that. Mm. So I don't know why. We went up onto the street because our house was so cold. It was called the tree house because it was up in the trees, no natural light, cold, musty, dusty, great place, cold. I remember it was August and it was 30 degrees in the day. I was like, it's so hot. So we went up and set up our towels and pillows and music and snacks, and we called it the Elvis Street Beach Club because we lived on Elvis Street. And we were doing that from 10:30 in the morning till 2:30 in the afternoon every day. Oh. Our neighbours thought we were insane, but it was just her and I at home. My partner at the time was working, and then our other roommate, Lavina, and best friend, was living in Queensland, so she could still go to work. So it was just Chels and I every day up on the street.
Oh,
and it was
beautiful.
And I remember it was in those weeks that we really started to get to the nitty-gritty of all sorts of things, boyfriends and parents and all sorts. And she had started to tell me a little bit about a bit more about her epilepsy.
Yeah.
I knew she had epilepsy, but, it's not something you just like, so tell me about that. But she was starting to open up a little bit about it. And I remember her saying, I have been on, I think she said there was like 3 medications. I can't remember exactly, but there are like 3 medications that you can take for it. She's like, I've done them all. And I fucking hated it.
Yeah.
She goes, I wasn't allowed to drive. I couldn't work when I was on one of them. It was debilitating. And I think
why? Was it because
it makes you feel like you're going to have
right
a seizure? Yeah, she said one of them
scary.
does. It makes you just feel gross. So that's why you can't drive and work. It's just awful. She hated it. So that's why I don't take them. She goes, but, I haven't had a seizure since I was or blackout since I was 19, 20. And she was 26 at the time. And I was like, oh, cool. And I remember so distinctly, she was like, and you know what? Even if I was needing to take them, I wouldn't, because I'd rather live a short, happy life than a long one feeling like shit all the time. And I was like, so fair, babes.
Wow.
Take that back now. I was like, at the time I was like, yeah. So, it was nice getting to know that kind of stuff about her. And I truly believe she was warming up to telling me that she was starting to have blackouts again. That's where that conversation was kind of leading.
Didn't you tell me, or I think it was you, so that she mentioned a couple of times about worrying or feeling like she was going to start having them soon?
Well, she used to say, so she would drive everywhere.
Yeah.
So she could always had her own way home. And she didn't drink much because she said that if drinking used to alcohol and things like that could bring it on sometimes. So she'd have her little things. She was always, prepared.
Yeah.
But I'm like, is that because she was already having blackouts? Maybe. Those conversations etched into my brain forever.
Yeah.
And in those weeks, aside from sunbaking for a gazillion hours a day, we'd done spruced the house up. We'd done a spring clean, moved our rooms around. Every day the others would come home and be like, the house is different.
Yeah.
We're like, well, yeah, we've got nothing else to do. But yeah, we're doing the lawns, we're sprucing everything.
I love that.
Trust me, this is relevant. And then there was a day where I don't remember exactly, there was some art show on in Cooley. We lived in Tweed, and she was always nervous about jumping the border. And she goes, fuck it, I'm gonna go. I just feel like I wanna go, I wanna see everyone, fuck it. And I was like, great. She goes, I'm gonna get my hair done too. And I was like, as you should. Oops, you haven't seen everyone. get it all zhuzhed, come on. So she went and saw...
Being friends with a Leo is the best.
Yeah, I'm like,
as you should.
Yeah, I actually wouldn't let you go if you didn't. We're really tanned.
Yeah.
People are going to be like, what? So you have to go get your hair done. So I sent her to my stylist, who's unreal. He just nails it every time. Really good at making your hair big and bouncy and blonde and beautiful. And I remember her skipping down the driveway when she came back. I was like, oh, I look amazing. So you do look amazing. You're gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Got her outfit on. She's like, right, I'm going to go have a few drinks before go to the art show. I'll see you later. I was like, okay. See ya. Off she went. A couple hours go past. My boyfriend was like, I'm going surfing. He hadn't come home from work. He was just going straight to Snapper, the usual going surfing. I was like, okay, cool. Enjoy. I've made dinner. Dinner's been ready for 20 minutes. I cannot get a hold of him. Sun's been down, so it's September, so it still goes down relatively early. Could not get a hold of him. I start panicking. I'm like...
did a shark eat him?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I'm like, fuck. And I'm calling and I'm calling. I hear nothing, and I've got this awful anxiety. I'm like, yuck.
That's right. You had the heebie-fucking-jeebies.
I had the heebie-jeebies, and he finally calls me. He's like, oh, sorry, I had a beer. I was like, that's fine. You've got to tell me. I thought you drowned. He's like, oh, sorry, I'll be home in a bit. Before he called me, I'd actually called Chels because I knew she was at the surf club. I was like, hey, Sissy, can you see Geordie? And she's like, no. And I was like, okay. And she goes, but can you feed the dog? And I love you, and I'll see you a bit later. I was like, I love you, have the best time. She's like, yeah, I am, I'm pissy. I was like, yeah. Anyway, My boyfriend comes home, we eat dinner. I don't eat dinner. I could not relax. I was like, he's fine. Whatever, all good. He eats, clean up. Finally fall asleep after hours and hours and hours. I just couldn't shake that icky feeling.
Yeah.
I was like, but he's home. I was like, no, you just pissed. You pissed off at him. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Finally fall asleep. And then in the middle of the night, I shoot up and I'm drenched in sweat and my chest is like pounding and it feels like I'm choking or I'm going to throw up, both.
Yeah.
There's something in my throat, like I've got to like pull it out. I don't know. I just feel disgusting, awful. And I was like, It was probably around midnight, I want to say. I don't know. I didn't check the time. And I was like, this is gross. Obviously, it's my anxiety. Because I went to sleep still anxious. It's kind of manifested physically. It happens. Go back to sleep. In the morning, it's the usual routine. Lavina's there. She popped in. We're giggling around the house. My boyfriend's gone to work. Lavina leaves. Chels and I had plans to go shopping that day. We were going to be naughty and jump the border and go to Pack Fair. Essentials. And I was like, and she's an early bird, so I was like, oh, she's not up yet. And I was like, she probably got up, fed the dog, went back to bed, because she was a little pissed when I spoke to her at like 6 last night. She's had a big night. So I'm out in the sun, I'm reading a book, and I'm like, it's fucking midday.
Yeah.
I'm like, she's gone without me. Oh my God, that bitch is gone without me. So, you know, I'm sitting there and I'm sitting in the sun. I was like, starting to feel funny. I was like, oh, okay. So I go inside and I text her. And I texted her, bitch, you alive? Like, where are you at? You don't. I don't.
Sorry, but she would laugh at that.
She would have been in hysterics. No. Anyway, I, turns out.
Oh my God.
And I hear a phone ding and I was like, what the fuck? And I went to go in her room. I was like, something just said, no, not yet. Have a shower, eat something, and then, you know, I don't know why. I just didn't want to go in there. I was like, okay. Yeah. So I'm showered. I've got my towel. I'm still wet. I've got my towel around. I was like, okay, nah, you're taking the piss now. Get up. And I stop at the door and I was like, And it just got this feeling. I was like, oh my God, she's been sick and she's choked on her vomit. That's what I feel like's happened. And I've pushed the door open and her bed's made. And I was like, oh my God, no, she did leave without me. And then my eyes pan down and she's, trigger warning, on her bedroom floor, well and truly deceased. And I
got goosebumps everywhere.
Went in, because I didn't know the timeline, but I looked at her and I knew. I knew. I said I don't know the timeline, but I looked and I knew. So I went in and I kind of, and it wasn't a gruesome sight. She was just kind of, you know. So I went and I shook her leg and touched her leg and it was ice cold. I can still feel it. Sometimes I'm like, ooh. Yeah. And I shook her and I was like, honey. Honey, Chels babes. And I was like, nope. And I remember going like this and being like, oh. And all I wanted to do was call my mum. But I'm like, what the fuck is your mum going to do right now? So I start getting dressed on the phone to 000.
Yeah.
Still got the door open. So my like second room / dressing room was across the hall from her. So I had the door. So I see if she'd, I don't know, move. But then I didn't want to look. It was,
You would have been in a state of shock.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
So I'm on the phone. And she goes, you know, 000, ambulance, what's your emergency? I was like, I think my friend is dead. And she goes, what? And I said, I think my friend and my roommate, I think she's dead. She goes, okay, do you want to go, do you want to do CPR? And I was like, she's grey and she's cold. And she goes, okay, yeah, no worries. We're sending someone, I can see them, they're coming over the bridge. Do you need me to stay on the phone? This beautiful dispatcher stayed on the phone with me.
Oh, that's nice.
And it was the longest. I went back and checked my call log and it was 8 minutes is all it took them, obviously. But it felt like the longest fucking 8 minutes of my life. And even though, like, I touched her, I saw her, I knew. When the ambos got there, I was like, we're going to be laughing about this and tonight, you know, we're going to be laughing. She's going to be wrapped in that funny little silver blanket thing you see on movies. And we're going to be in stitches about this. So I went and sat, and the first ambos got there and they sat with me. And then the second ambulance came and they were kitted up and they were running down with the DFib. And they went down and it was literally 2 seconds. They came back. They didn't even look at me. They looked at the other, Nathan, I remember his name. And they shook their heads. And I was in shock. I was like, what do you mean no?
Oh.
get in there and do the thing. Because in my head, you know, Ambos are, and they are 100%, but they were going to be magical superheroes.
Yeah.
And fix her.
Yeah.
They were going to fix her. And they couldn't. They didn't. Girl, they went in there, they were like... So, yeah, they didn't even look at me. They looked at the other. I was sitting on the floor in the sunroom and Nathan was sitting on the chair and he just goes, you might want to start calling your roommates. I was like, okay, can you stay here? He's like, yeah. So then I had to obviously call my partner that lived there and Lavina and tell them they needed to come home.
Fucking hell.
It took ages. Everything took ages. Yeah. It didn't though, but in my head, you know, time kind of stood still. They, long story short, we weren't allowed back in the house. We had to wait because, you know, 26-year-old girls don't just, healthy girls don't just pass away. And because she had been out the night before, my house became a crime scene.
Yeah.
We weren't allowed in the house. We had to wait for like detectives to come up from like Lismore or something. It was insane, and we were not allowed inside the house.
Where were you allowed to be? Because you're not
so in the front, we had like a porch kind of area. We just had to sit out there and wait. And I remember they needed permission to turn the house into a crime scene and enter the home. And I was like, oh, fuck, I'll do it. These two are a mess. Lavina's throwing up in a bush.
Oh, babe.
She was not good. Oh, poor darling. Poor thing was in so much shock.
Yeah.
And they handed me the clipboard to fill it out, and I went to do it, and I couldn't.
Are you fucking serious? You're filling out forms.
I couldn't move. I was like, can you do it? He goes, yeah.
Oh.
Not to mention, these were the two youngest cops I've ever seen in my life. Swear to God, they would have been like 19. Oh, it was so awkward. They didn't know what to say. We didn't know. It was just...
None of us have done this before.
It was so weird. Oh, and, you know, I had to write out a description, what she's wearing, where is she located, her name, how to spell it, all of those things, next of kin if I knew it, and sign away like, yeah, you can enter my home. God. And then we had to fucking figure out where we were going. They gave me a couple of minutes. I was escorted by a police officer to pack a bag for all of us. He watched me.
Really?
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to touch anything.
Because you didn't want to let the other two in, hey, because you were like, I don't want them to see.
Yeah, that's right, actually. Yeah, I asked Nathan, I said, hey, can you go and shut her door? I don't need the other two seeing this. So they never...
I think that is a solid gift, because you could have gone through this trauma with people. You went through it with them, obviously. It's not like
we all,
yeah. Totally, obviously. But that, like the additional, like, assault to your senses, like the seeing, feeling, experiencing it in that way.
I wouldn't wish that on anyone.
You could have experienced that with people and had, like, you know, the whole, like, you know, misery loves company. Not that that's the same thing at all, but you know what I mean? Like, that kind of general premise. But you chose to do that alone and protect them from it. And now you are the only person in your life who you know who's ever been through anything like this, which would have just been insanely isolating. Anyway, get back to the story.
It is, no, that's 100% it. It's a very lonely, because we all lost Chels, all of us. We all, you know, the three of us had to move out of the home and pack up her things and all of that, and that was traumatic. It's awful. Yeah. But it's just me. I was home alone. Yeah. Oh, God. And that's, unfortunately, the last time I saw her. Yeah. And I remember signing the thing, being like, yep, welcome to my home, enter. And at the time I knew they were all professionals, you know, they're going to look after her, but I didn't want to leave her. I couldn't do anything. Obviously, I had to leave her how she was, how I found her, all of that. So they could do their investigation, but I just wanted to pick her up. Yeah. I just wanted to scoop her up like a little baby bird.
I remember you saying that.
And I wanted to, or just wait there, because I'm like, she doesn't know you guys.
Yeah. And even in, like, the days afterwards when I was, like, bringing you guys food and stuff, I remember I heard you say a couple of times, you were like, is she just like, by herself? Like, where is she? Who's with her? Is she just in, like, a metal drawer somewhere? Like...
And I just didn't obviously they were all professionals. This is what they do. They would have looked after her and respected her 100%. That wasn't my issue. It was just like, I don't want her to be like that.
No, totally. And your previous existence, like you were just in this life where you were like, bye, have fun. And then all of a sudden, like, you're like, where is my friend? Who's with her? What's happening?
Yeah.
Like the shock and you wouldn't have had time to catch up to the reality of the situation straight away. Like, that's insane.
I was like, where are you taking her?
Yeah.
Can I come? Obviously not. I'm not next of kin. You don't know me. But I'm like, but she doesn't know you.
Yeah.
She was like, no.
I'll take her.
I'll go. I'll ride in the thing. Like, I'll do it. I'll do everything. Yeah. I don't care. Like, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And I just remember, I'm like, I just wanted to, scoop her up off the floor.
Yeah.
Like a little baby bird. Just at least put her on her bed.
Yeah.
And like I said, it wasn't a gruesome scene at all. Like, it wasn't scary.
Were you going to say she even passed away daintily?
Yes. Fuck's sake. She would. She would. For those that do know Chelsea, even in death, she's still gorgeous.
Stunning.
Couldn't be me. Honestly, it wouldn't. Oh my God, I would not look like that. It would be way more traumatic if it were me.
She was like a swan, hey? Just
Seriously.
literally, just so beautiful.
Yeah, oh no. Oh, but yeah, she'd had a seizure, and it was, like I said, it wasn't gruesome. There's no choking on her tongue. She didn't hit her head really hard. Nothing. From what I understand, it was just she blacked out, and that was it. Wow. And she didn't wake up. So I'm glad it wasn't like painful or scary for her or anything like that. She just would have gone, oh, I do this, I'm used to this. And that was it. So I'm grateful that it wasn't.
Totally.
Awful. And another, like, again, if you know Chelsea, you know Caesar, her dog.
That's heartbreaking.
He was on the end of her bed watching the door, and he didn't want to leave her, and he wasn't going to leave her. He didn't want to leave her, obviously. He couldn't leave her in the house, so he came with us, but he sat, and he hadn't been fed, and that boy loves food. And he sat. He didn't even let me know, or otherwise I would have gone in there. There was no barking, no yapping. He didn't, let me know I needed to wee, nothing. He sat there with her. And I was like, oh.
It's fucking crazy.
He sat and watched the door to make sure that, no one came in.
Oh.
Little sweetheart. Till the end, he was with her.
Oh my God.
Little soft boy.
He had the same heart that she had.
Oh,
it was like they were just two peas in a pod.
Boy. So I'm glad that he was there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Like, poor Caesar, but also, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, if you can, I don't know how this stuff works or anything, but when you were talking about Caesar then, I was picturing, like, her soul kind of coming out to do its thing, and then being a little bit like, wait, what? And then Caesar being there and him being able to, like, support that, because dogs definitely see more than we do. I don't know anything about it, but that's what I saw in my head.
Relieved, because that's another thing she always used to say. She's like, oh my God, I need to go before Caesar does, or I'm going to end up in the loony bin, because I cannot handle it. So,
yeah,
she's like, I couldn't live without Caesar.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Yep.
She'll be waiting for him when it's his turn.
She will.
Yeah.
And what was life like after that? I remember a period of time of just, like, you guys all being, like, displaced.
Yeah, we were. So in the couple of days, so that night we went and stayed where Lavina had been staying in Queensland with her auntie. None of us slept, obviously. We all just sat on the couch and we were like, what?
Conrad and I visited you guys that night, and I remember...
Yeah, the following,
Oh, was it the following night?
I think
it was
so.
that day.
The following night.
Following night, okay.
I had no concept of time.
No, yeah, I can imagine. But yeah, when we saw you guys, it was like... I think the best way to describe it would be... like, obviously a very sad, dense feeling in the air, and we were all sad.
But it was like, you know, when you look at a mannequin and
Yeah, you're like, duh.
yeah, we were like, oh,
Like, is that a
everyone's like-
person?
we're disassociated.
Yeah, 100%.
Obviously, like,
Because the next, so we went,
fair.
stayed up all night, couldn't sleep. Her brother lives in Japan, Billy. I love Billy. Messaged me because he would have, you know, been told by his mum, and he's going, what the fuck is going on? So I'm having to talk to him. Stayed up all night, slept maybe an hour, and then the next day, I don't know why, but I took it upon myself to let everybody know.
Yeah.
I just thought, I was like, it needs to be me. Well, also because the other two probably,
too.
again, it was too much for them.
I don't know why though. When you say that in my head, I'm like, that makes sense for it to have been you.
Yeah, because it
Who else was it going to be you?
Me.
I mean, who else was it going to be?
Yeah. So I had to fucking call everybody. Hey, and they're like, you've never called me before. I'm like, yep. Are you sitting down? All day. Hey, are you sitting down?
Fuck me.
Hey, are you sitting? Maybe sit down.
Oh my God.
And having to deliver that news over and over and over again.
What did that feel like?
I don't remember.
No.
I just,
Yeah.
because I was like, I don't want anybody. And I don't know why that wasn't my place, and I understand that, but I was like, no fucking social media posts until we tell everyone that needs to know.
Yeah.
Because no one needs to find out through a rest in peace, I miss you and I love you. No.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure everyone had was ready. It was ready to hear it, as ready as you can be.
Yeah.
Sat down and,
That's really nice.
yeah, I didn't want people to find out like that.
No.
So yeah, I'd spent the day doing that.
God damn.
And kind of preparing, and then what we were going to do, because her ex-partner Bradley, who she's very close with and now we're close with, was going to come up to get Caesar and get her van and bring all of her things. So I'm on the phone to him, and I'm on the phone to her other best friend who I'm now friends with, Courtney, trying to talk to them how the fuck they're going to get into anywhere from Victoria, because Chels is from Melbourne.
Yeah, it was a logistical nightmare.
It was fucked. So we're all trying to do that, and
Yeah.
it was insane.
Like you wouldn't have even had time to process anything yet for ages.
No, because
And you
then
weren't in your home, and you weren't even legally like allowed the whole
technically-
border thing.
yeah.
And I remember you guys weren't wanting to like buy food on your card and stuff because of where you were.
Yeah, it
and
was just.
that's
fucked.
crazy.
So then Bradley was up there for the week, so it was now time to pack up Chelsea's room.
God.
So we spent a week doing that, going through her things.
Was
I
that
remember going to my mum's for a little bit. The others went back. Lavina didn't, but my partner at the time, he went back, and some of our other friends went as well, so he wasn't alone in the house. And they had started to pack up the room, and I lost my fucking mind. I was like, I need to be there. Please just give it one more day and I'll be there tomorrow. Because I was terrified of the house.
Yeah.
I was
God,
really
yeah.
scared.
Yeah.
So I was like, put everything back. They were like, what? I was like, please just put everything back. Exactly how it was when I was in there last. And they're like, okay. Because I needed to just be like, it's just a room. It's just Chelsea's room.
Yeah.
It's okay. Because I was absolutely terrified of the house.
It makes sense, like from what you've been through and just shock that you were in and what you'd seen, and now it's like your brain and body wouldn't have had any time to process any of it. So the immediate deduction that you would make from that is this room equals death.
Something, yeah. I think the thing, I went straight to like terrified. Because the last time I'd seen her, I was like, oh, it's Chels. And then when I went in there, I'm like, that's not my friend.
Yeah.
Obviously it was, but I'm like, that doesn't look like the essence of Chels wasn't there.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is that?
Yeah.
I was like, that's not her. That thing came in here. I don't know what, and it sounds awful to say thing, but that's how I processed it, and I couldn't.
Yeah.
So we, went in the room, and I sat in there, and I was like, oh, okay, it's fine. And then, the house was buzzing. It was amazing. Everyone came and helped us pack everything up, and it was really beautiful.
Good. Did that feel like a bit of a healing bit?
I thought so.
Yeah, okay.
Until everybody left. My partner went back to work, and I was left home alone in the house.
No.
And I knew I didn't want to be left home alone in the house. So I asked my mum to bring our dog over, and she's this big neo-mastiff, so big girl. I was like, I'm going to feel safe with her. And I was feeling good. I was like, oh, okay, this is fine. Because where I went, she went. It was cool. I went downstairs to do, so it's funny now, where I went downstairs to do some laundry, and our laundry was so creepy and gross. And we had hardwood floors. And she must have spooked or something, and she was scurrying across the
Oh, it was above you.
hardwood floor. And I just went, ugh. I just had this image in my head of a scary thing, like, oh, yep. You like picture Grudge, like,
Yes.
And I just remember just being like,
I remember you saying something along those lines. I don't remember that part of the story, but I remember you like processing it in that way and just being like the way that Chels came in was not the Chels that left you,
Yes.
kind of thing. I
Yeah.
remember you saying like, thing
I don't-
and like, ugh.
yeah,
and then
like, I
I
don't
remember you
know
having
what-
guilt about that situation for a moment as well, because like, I think it's a complete fair thing.
like,
It's
it
not-
is Chelsea.
you
I
don't
hate
need
to talk about her like that, but that's how my brain processed. So I was
Totally.
like, that's not Chelsea.
Absolutely, that's fucking traumatizing to see that. I can completely
Yeah.
understand, not from your perspective, obviously, but I can understand that makes sense that your brain would see it that way. And
Yeah.
there's like nothing
And
to
just
feel
from, like,
guilty about with that.
How I found her, it was just a bit, yeah, anyway. And I was down in the laundry, and then, the dog just scurried across the hardwood floors, and I was like, oh. I went and locked myself in my bedroom with the dog, and ate 2 Valiums and just passed out. My boyfriend came home and was like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I am now. I woke up and I was like, you can't leave me here. I was like, you can't leave me here alone.
Yeah.
Please don't leave me alone. I'm going to get eaten.
Oh, baby.
It was so awful. It's so funny now. I'm like, oh, you traumatized little thing.
Yeah.
But,
Did you... Wait, hang on. No, the question just fell fucking out of my head. Keep going,
come
sorry.
back.
It will.
And, since that moment I've been fine, but there's other little things. So straight after it happened, because the last thing I did before I went into a room was shower. I couldn't shower by myself.
Oh, God. Yeah. Showering alone is already terrifying. Like, already to the point of just watching... I can't even imagine from your shoes. Because I, as a grown adult woman who hasn't seen that, close my eyes in the shower and I feel like someone's going to attack me. And that's something that I literally have to be like, it's okay. Like, you can hear the bathroom door opening.
Yeah.
Like, it's
There's no
shut.
creatures in
No
here.
one's in here. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't even imagine that after, like, that happening.
Yeah.
I'm just checking we're still recording. Keep talking.
Yeah, that was the last thing that I did. So then, I couldn't shower for a little while, but I've since, obviously, that kind of cleared that up really quickly. But I noticed the other day, so I live with a girl that I work with, and she travels a lot because that's what we do, right? And even if I know she's from Cairns, she's gone home to Cairns to see her family, or she just went to Japan for a week, I knew she was in Japan, but her bedroom door had been closed the whole time. And I was just like, she's in there. She's in there.
Oh, my God.
So
of course.
if someone's with my roommate Liz, who I also used to work with, same thing. Like if she'd gone for a night out and she was just having a sleep in, if her bedroom door is closed for too long, I start to panic.
Yeah, you should just give all your housemates a disclaimer and be like, sometimes I might just creep in and open your door and check on you.
And I did, and I wasn't even home, and I knew that she is in Japan. But I had to open that door, and I had to leave it open.
Do you think? Yeah, absolutely.
Because I was like, oh, I can't do
No way.
Yep.
Yeah, fuck that.
Pushing open doors, ugh.
Yeah.
Because I have this, like, something awful, isn't there?
Yeah. Yeah, like everything behind the door would just be like doom.
Yeah, even though I knew
Impossible.
she's not home, you dick.
Do you
And I'm
think
like,
you'll have that forever?
I think so.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's just the one thing I can't quite shake.
Yeah. Like, oh, can't even fathom that.
Yeah, that's the one thing in that I thought I'd, gotten over seeing an ambulance. For a little while, that freaked me the fuck out.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, love you guys.
Yeah.
Or any sort of, working at the airport, medical, anything.
Like
where
emergency
they emergency, I just
situation.
used to be like, oh fuck, no.
Yeah.
Or aircraft is landing, we need an ambo on arrival. I'm like, ugh. But now I'm like, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So I just assumed, even the showering thing, I didn't do that. It's fine. So when that, took me by surprise. Literally last week, I was like, oh. But I feel like that's one that's going to stick around.
Yeah.
That's okay. At least there's only one.
Yeah,
Imagine if I
true.
still couldn't shower.
That'd be
Fuck.
fucked. You've come so far.
I'd much rather tell new roommates, hey, leave, can you occasionally, or just text me and let me know you are, instead of, can you come and sit while I shower?
Can we just never shut a single door?
Yeah.
Shower door open,
Yeah.
your bedroom door open, always doors open.
Like, don't move her.
I want to be able to hear you when I'm in the shower.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, pick your battles, Chels.
If I lived with you, I'd be like, that's fine. Whatever.
Yeah. And I guess like another thing that I have to try and overcome is, circling back to that night it happened. I was anxious, right? I had this something in me knew.
That's right.
Something in me knew, and then I woke up in the middle of the night. Something in me knew.
Yeah.
I went to push a door open earlier in the day, couldn't do it. Something said, don't do it. My body knew.
Yeah.
So now I have a really tough time just trying to figure out, is it just anxiety or is something fucking awful going to happen?
Okay.
Most of the time, 100% of the time, it's just anxiety, but it was that one time it wasn't just anxiety, my body knew.
Yeah. That's insane, hey? Like, do you think it was... Yeah, probably was your body, hey? Do you think it was also, like, your higher self, like, with a...
It was something, because, I don't know, she's like a sister. You just
Yeah.
your
it's just
soul's
like
kind of,
a connection.
yeah,
And you would have felt like a...
something.
And you had the panic in the night.
And I sound insane, but I feel like it was around the time.
Yeah. No, when
It
you
was like
told
a
me that, I was like, no, yeah, 100%.
A shift, you could feel it. And I was like, something's not right. But I put it down to just my anxiety. I'm like,
Oh, I've got chills all over my body. No, it was not your anxiety.
And I mentioned
Because
it.
also, like, you couldn't get over the fear after, even though your ex came home.
He's home, he's fine, he's eating, he's giggling. I told him, don't ever do that shit again. He said, sorry. And we're like, cool, it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm like, something's not fine.
Yeah.
I can't eat, I'm going to throw up.
Fucking hell. That's so wild. I think with your, like, is it anxiety or is it my intuition? Like, what's my knowing and what's my anxiety? That's a thing in general. I think you would have that fucking dialed up, like amplified, absolutely. Is there any, like, physical or internal tells that you have that help you decipher which ones? Not yet?
Not yet.
You will.
Yeah, eventually we will get to that.
Yeah.
The more I work on, like, moving the trauma out of my physical body, because I'm holding it. We were laughing about it the other day. You just sit there and you're like, oh, my jaw is clenched. I'm like, I'm sitting here just watching Gossip Girl and I'm like, oh, what are you doing?
And I sent you that picture. I was at my desk the other day and I just had, like, on my one hand on the laptop, my other hand was just a fist and my knuckles. I looked down and my knuckles were white.
You're like,
and I was like, we're not stressed anymore. Put them down.
Release your jaw, you psycho.
That is literally the longest. I cannot.
My shoulders are up here.
I
I sleep like that.
Yes, me too. You would not believe how often I have to be like this, like, just constantly push my shoulders down. They feel like they're up to my ears.
Same, always.
I had a fucking neck problem. I went to the massage the other day, or yesterday maybe, and she was like massaging me so hard, and she was like, you have, like, a very high pain tolerance. She was like, you're very, very tight. And she was like, what do you do for work? And I was like, oh, this is stress.
But
It's just my body hasn't let go of my old life.
Yeah. We're getting there, though.
She was like, I'm pressing really hard. And, like, because of how tight it is, this should be very tender. And I was like, I'm just really grateful to be here.
Yeah, just keep going,
Help
sis.
me. And, yeah, so my neck, it's still sore and everything, but it's been feeling a lot better after that. But
Yeah.
I was even saying to her, I was like, I just can't seem to get my shoulders away from my earlobes. Like, and then my jaw as well is just always, like, clenched, like my neck and shoulders. I'm just like this. It's like I'm just waiting for someone to attack me. And I'm like, calm down. Let
Hey,
it go.
maybe, like, breathe one time.
Yeah.
Take one breath
Legit. It's like,
and blink. Please, just blink.
yes, like those times when you're staring off into the distance and you're basically cross-eyed and your eyes are wide open. You're like a fucking psychopath about to murder someone or something.
Yeah,
And you're
it's
like
people think you're weird.
shallow breathing, like barely taking a full breath. You fists
That's
are
been me
clenched.
for 2 years.
we're laughing about it, but it's like, this is not okay.
Yeah, it's not healthy and we're working on it. We're working on it.
It takes a long time for your body to let it go.
So once I do more of that, I will be able to tell the difference between what is
Yeah.
a gut feeling and what is anxiety.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really hard
Yeah.
up until very recently,
Yeah.
which then I guess creates doubt within myself.
How come?
Because I'm like, well, am I just an insane person? Or like, do I trust myself in this or am I just insane? And I was like, oh my God, I don't know what to think or how to feel.
Not knowing how to trust yourself
Yeah.
is the worst feeling ever. Yeah.
I'm like, no, it's the anxiety. I'm like, is it though? I don't know.
Oh, I hate that.
So I stayed inside for a long time.
Yeah.
Not the healthiest coping mechanism, but I think it really worked for me.
No, totally. I think that is fine to, like, obviously not forever, but I think it's a good thing because when your energy is so low and you don't really like we unconsciously have like an energy sort of like protection field around us anyway, right? Like we've already got like just our heart alone produces a massive energetic field outside of our body. And we're always energetically protecting ourselves. We've always got some form of a boundary up, even if we're unaware of it. And when you're really energetically low and you're going through a hard time and you just don't have enough energy even for yourself barely to survive, let alone like protecting your energy against like other people or, you know, other people's projections or just there are like anything, even just their yucky vibes and stuff. Staying in and away from all of that when you don't have the capacity to protect yourself or heal yourself if someone like throws you into some kind of fucking tizzy or whatever is a good thing. Like, and just spending the time with yourself is you're more likely to heal. Like, and you spent so much time inside and look how far you've come. You
Honestly,
know?
I
Like,
say it all the time, like solitude is my best friend.
Yeah, 100%.
Not isolation.
No.
Solitude.
Yes.
They're different things. And I love solitude. I love her. I've learned so much from her.
Right?
About myself. Thank you.
Yeah. And that's
just-
like the most important thing, like
Yeah.
to know yourself
I
through
just
the good and the bad.
and from spending that time in solitude, I now crave it.
Yeah.
Like I love hanging out with me.
Same.
I travel alone. Like I like to just I have and I will forever. I think that's just I just really appreciate time with myself.
Yes. I
And when
love
I'm not
that.
feeling super grounded, I'm feeling super outside of myself, I will just spend time with me in solitude. And I always come out of it, I'm like, ugh, yeah.
Do you feel like you trust yourself more again?
I've never been, like coming out of this, I've never been so solid
Good.
within myself. I'm like,
Yeah.
I feel real good.
Good. Because, like, look what you just pulled yourself out of. Holy fuck, bro. That's insane. Look at you. You're
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, I've never felt more myself. And it's just the best feeling.
Yeah. You're
Yeah.
going to just... I just feel like you've got... I feel like you gained a lot, even though you lost a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, you know what I mean.
100%. I'm not like stoked about
Yeah.
my dead friend.
No. Obviously.
Like if I could trade it, I would. But at the same time, I am so grateful for the lessons that I've learned and, you know, being able to spend that time. Fuck, it was so hard. Because it wasn't just like, again, not woe is me, poor me, rah, 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 but, you know, it was a series of events like we spoke about earlier of my parents splitting and my, you know, my solid unit no longer being a solid unit is, I feel like, the last thing.
Yeah.
Literally everything is just, they always say the universe will forcibly remove things from your life that are not meant to be there.
100%.
So, you know, I don't know why Chels was removed. We don't need to figure that out. That's fine.
I always have this, like,
She just,
feeling about...
she did everything she needed to do.
That's what I feel. I honestly feel like, I don't know, obviously, and what I feel doesn't matter, but it feels like she did what she needed to do here. And, like, she was so pure. Her heart and soul was so
I don't even really have
pure.
words to describe other than warm.
Yeah.
Warm.
Where do you think you're going to go from here?
I don't know, but I'm not scared of it.
I'm so glad.
I was so scared of it. I was so scared of everything. But now I'm not.
You were.
And I'm very excited.
Like, for context, for anyone listening, like, I remember when you were in Bali recently, and you're in Bali, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
like, wait, was that right? You were there recently, and I just had this, like, feeling, and I'd messaged you, and I was like, hey, like, how you going? And you're like, I'm really anxious. And I was like,
Yeah, I'm
I thought
having
so.
the worst time.
And I was like, she thinks everyone at home is dying.
Yeah. That's how bad it was. I couldn't even. I was with two of my best friends in the whole world celebrating my 26th birthday.
It's like, we're all alive, everyone's well.
I could see the
Go
ocean. We were in
outside.
this gorgeous villa. We were naked eating fruit, and we've never been so tanned. Why am I upstairs crying on the floor? Like, I couldn't even function.
And that was only, like, recently.
August.
Yeah. Where are we now? It's like November. That's crazy. That was so recent. It's wild, hey, how, like, you were in that plane of existence where that was your reality, where anytime you traveled, even when you went on a quick Australian trip, where'd you go?
Perth.
Perth. And you were so worried even then, just like leaving everyone at home, and worried that if you left, everyone would die. And it's like irrational, yes, but also not, like, it makes sense. And now, like, that last little thing, like that last little puzzle piece fell into place or whatever, and you just got that, like, revelation feeling that, like, you can release.
Yeah, I'm like, it's cool, man. Like,
I love that.
yeah, it's hard to articulate a little bit because people are like, what? I'm like, it's obviously not completely over it, and I still worry about my friends and my
Obviously.
family, but there's
This will
just
be a journey.
because that thing, that my safety net, my parents and my home, that was my safety net. That was always going to be there.
Yeah.
But nope. I'm like, oh, well, fuck it then. Oh, well, fuck it.
How much was gonna get? Let's do it.
Seriously.
Yeah.
All those things, like, you know, not long after, a little bit after, like, my partner and I had split up.
That's right.
That's cool. It is what it is. You know, we're not meant to be together. That's
Definitely
fine.
not.
But, you know, you're like, fuck, don't need this right now.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's okay. And I was like, oh, that's all right. And then the grief really kicked in after that because I was alone here for a few months. And I was like, oh, that's fucked. So I really threw myself into work.
Yeah.
I haven't been to work since May because now that's fucked, which I can't really discuss, but I think we're nearly at the end of that.
God,
but
I hope so.
I've been there 7 years, like that was my whole life. And I thought I was going to be doing that for the next 20, work my way up, and that was it. That was going to be my whole life.
What's your perspective on that now?
Fuck it.
Doesn't matter how.
I will never step foot back in, I don't think. I mean, if I could, I could fall back into airlines, but that I don't want to do. That's not my end goal anymore.
No, that totally, no, absolutely. But even that, like, mentality of I want to work here and work my way up and stuff, gone, hey.
Don't care.
Total perspective shift. Yeah, that's cool.
I let it, unfortunately, consume me, and I think it was a coping mechanism a little bit. Don't get me wrong, I love my job. I was great at my job. I love the people I work with.
Yeah.
But it became everything.
Yeah.
And then that was fucking whoop. See you later. When that was taken from me, I was like, oh fuck.
What do I have?
I'm like, that's okay. Mum and Dad.
Yeah.
Nah.
Psych.
What do you mean? So I was like, right. Cried about it for a day. Mum and Dad splitting. I'm like, fuck it. Yeah. Honestly, I'm paying attention now. I get it, universe. The things have been removed. Got no job, got no boyfriend, my parents aren't together. Let's fucking go to Europe or something.
I am obsessed with the
What
Europe
is keeping
idea.
you here? I don't know.
I reckon Europe. Like, you've spent half your life in Japan, basically.
I know.
Emily asked your table over. It's
Oh,
fine.
it's okay.
Chelsea's fine. Everyone's
Chelsea's
fine.
cool. Everybody's cool over
Plan's
there.
fine.
Everybody's good. No, yeah. So I think this is the last little thing that was keeping me here.
I love it.
It's gone. So I'm like,
Just visit
okay.
you wherever you are. Plus, we'll just still voice message, like, all the time.
Yeah, screech at each other.
Thank you.
Podcast. We were actually podcasting before the podcast.
We were.
We did this first.
Just brought it into reality.
But no one will hear those ever.
Sometimes I'm like, I really just want to make a podcast where I play all my friends' voice messages. Only good ones, like not only good ones. They're all good. I just mean like nothing where I would put anyone in a position where they would be like, why the fuck could you do that to me? I would never do that.
Let mine rip. I think that would be so funny.
It would be like, I think about it a lot and I'm like, I would listen to that and I really want to do it. But I'm also like, is that a breach of everyone's trust in me? So like, maybe not. I would send it to everyone first and be like,
all of a sudden you're not getting any more voices.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Oh, no. I mean, you mean the podcast?
Yeah.
I was thinking, I would hate if everyone stopped voice messaging me.
No.
It's like,
I'll never stop. Some people hate it, but I do it anyway.
I fucking love it. You know who hates it? Reese.
Does he? I
yells
thought he
at
would
me
love
about
it.
No, because he fucking loves a yarn. Like, he'll have a chat on the phone for like an hour.
I thought he would love a little giggle.
He hates it.
Why?
He cannot stand it.
You can't keep up?
No, I guess he just doesn't like when you monologue at him. But I'm like, bro, you monologue at me on the phone. Let me monologue you with the voice messages. He fucking hates it.
I love voice messages. I think they're the funniest things.
Same. It's like my favorite way to communicate.
Me too.
I don't have time for texting anymore. My thoughts in my mouth are coming out. Do you know what I'm doing? I just realized the best thing ever. So, like, if you...
There we go. This is where it gets... Try keep up.
I am writing a book right now. And the biggest hurdle that I've learned is sitting down to do the writing. That seems like a slow, arduous task. And my mouth and my brain go so fast and my hands are slow. I journal all the time, but my journal is like this insane scrolling. You can hardly see anything. Like, so it doesn't make sense to like journal and translate it.
Yeah.
I don't want to do a double work. So I'm like, keyboarding. Why do I hate the keyboard so much? I don't fucking know, but there's a massive resistance between me and the keyboard. I'm like, bleh. And then I was like, stumbled across, and it wasn't even in relation to the book, like previously stumbled across the, in Word, like not Google Docs, but in the actual Word, you have this little feature called dictation, and you click on it, and you just speak, and it writes for you.
You screech at it.
I screech at my laptop.
It would be hilarious to read it back, and you'd be like, what did I just say?
It's straight up babble at first.
You're like, oh, fuck. Oh, fuck.
But it's the best hack I could possibly fucking imagine. Like, I went from, like, I wrote the first chapter and then I had this, like, massive period of time where nothing happened just because I was like, Esther, just sit down. Everything's in your head. You already know what you're going to write. It's all there. I've got the framework and everything. But I was like, sit down. And I was like, I can't. Why? And if I have resistance to something, it's not happening. Fucking way.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if I don't have resistance, I'll make it happen in like 2 days.
Yeah.
Like there's no in between.
Yeah, totally.
So extreme. And so I was like, I need a way around this fucking block. And then I remembered that I'd seen somewhere that whole dictation thing. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. So now I just like scream at my computer. And then it's just this psychobabble. And then afterwards, I just go through and structure it into like proper, you know, story. And and then my friend Billy's editing it for me. It's the best thing ever. But that dictation thing was amazing. And that makes so much sense to me because I voice message my friends all fucking day. I podcast. Like, I don't want to do anything else with my life apart from speak, apparently.
Yeah.
And now I can even speak my book out.
Perfect.
Yeah.
No, it makes so much sense.
It does.
I would love to see it before you clean it up, though.
I'll send you a...
I might actually be able to, like, take it in a little bit better. I'm like,
really?
Yeah,
I think this is familiar.
I'm like, oh, yes, this feels right. And you obviously have to do an audiobook.
Yeah, I will. Oh, my God.
You have to.
I will, definitely.
Oh.
That's crazy. So what do you think, like, are the biggest life changes you've had in the last, like, 2 years? Like, not literal changes to your circumstances, obviously, we just spoke about that, but, like, internally.
Internally?
How did you see the world? How do you see it now? Like, what meant something to you then and what means something to you now? Where are your values at?
Great question.
Cool, that just came out.
Great question. Wow, I'm impressed. I guess I've always had this kind of view on the world anyway. I don't know where that comes from. I've always just seen, you know, the bigger picture. Sounds like fucking... Anyway, but since going through this, I've written, and sitting with myself, I've been able to figure out why I function the way that I do. And one of the biggest things for me, the thing I crave the most, is genuine connection.
Yes. Yes.
And I'm so big on genuine connection.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I have time for everyone. So I can do small talk, I can be friendly at a party. Catch me at a party. That would involve leaving my bedroom. Probably not going to happen. But you know what I mean. Like, I have
you're the sort of person you could take anywhere.
all the time in the world for people. I'll never be rude.
Yeah.
But I crave genuine connection so deeply.
Yeah.
And I'm trying now to figure out where that comes from and why that is.
I have a theory.
Same.
Go on. Neither is right nor wrong, whatever. Don't look so nervous. It's so funny. What is it?
Yeah, I think so. My parents are very, very young when they had me. So my mum had me at 21.
Yeah. Your mum is such a babe.
My mama.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it from her. And then she met my stepdad. It was just mum and I. And then she met my stepdad just before I was 2, so like 1 and a bit, and he was quite young. He was like 20. So they were really young, and they were just figuring shit out. They barely knew how to be adults, let alone parents, right?
Totally. Oh, yeah.
So I was just left to my own doing, and that was fine. I was healthy and happy and had everything I needed.
Yeah.
And they were doing their best, but I think it was just like they had to work.
Yeah.
And I just hung out with myself.
Yeah.
And I did until I was 7, and then my little sister came along. But that's 7 years, right? Different, so it's not like we're playing or things like that. So I spent a lot of time by myself. Again, really hard to articulate. And mum's always been in shift work as well. And dad was working like 2-3 jobs, so I was just alone a lot. So I didn't have that, like...
Yeah.
connection. Like, my parents and I are very, very close, and that's happened since becoming an adult.
Yeah.
and that kind of thing. But I think that's kind of maybe what was missing. It was just a lot of by myself time in childhood, which is fine.
Yeah.
But now I just crave
Proper connection.
proper connection. And definitely not romantic. Doesn't have to be romantic, platonic. Perfect. But I crave that so deeply. And I only kind of came... I know we've had that conversation a few times. That I'm like, that's so important to me. But I think I've only just realised how important it is to me in the last, like, month or 2.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense, coming from the childhood and everything.
Yeah, so it wasn't like a bad... Like, I had a great childhood.
Yeah.
Everything I needed, it was great. It was just... That's what was missing.
Totally. Totally. I love that you know that.
Yeah, it was just like, you know, I remember it very distinctly. We were going to, I was in year 7, and we were going on an exchange to Japan.
Cool.
And we were all had to get dropped at school and then get on the bus to the airport or something like that. And all the parents were around taking photos, or our dad just had to drop me and go to work. It's just little things like that. So you look around and you're like, oh, but everyone else is
like,
doing
why am
that.
I missing out on
but
the
I'm
thing?
like, they've got a fucking mortgage to pay, dumbass. Like, duh.
Yeah. Isn't it wild? Like,
Just little things, and it's not even on
used to
purpose,
feel that way as
nothing
well,
like that. But
sometimes. Like, you'd be up on stage or whatever, and you'd look out in the audience, your parents out there or whatever, because they had to work or whatever. Noah used to say when I picked him up from preschool, sometimes he'd be like, how come everyone else has like 2 parents pick them up? And I'm like, first of all, how can both the parents pick the kids up? What the fuck is everyone doing? Are you kidding me? I was like, what do you mean? He's like, why
incredible.
aren't you and dad together? And I was like, well,
Bless.
that's for when you're older.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. And it's, no hard feelings, nothing like that, because everyone was just doing their best.
Yeah, totally. I was thinking, this kind of goes hand in hand with it, but like before, I think like when you're just going along through life and like before any sort of monumental, massive, traumatic thing, like, you know, the things that happen where you're just like, I will never forget this and I will only grow from this or die from it, basically, like what you've been through. and like your perspective on everything shifts so incredibly deeply, like to the bone. Nothing is the same. Nothing that you cared about, well, not nothing, but lots that you cared about before you don't care about anymore. And you have this like total flipped view of the world that you're like, oh, there's this entire side of it that I wasn't paying enough mind to. I was like vaguely aware of it or whatever, but it suddenly is like so much more important to you. And then you, like, I don't know, I think in times like that, you really like amplifies things, how important things are, like connection, understanding other people, understanding yourself, like alone time, like all the things that you just don't
really think
have
twice
time
about.
for.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like when you rocketed into a shitty situation like that. So when you were saying that, I was like, oh yeah, like your childhood would absolutely be the stem of that. And it's like what you went through recently is what would have like amplified that in you and brought it to the surface.
Yeah.
That desire for connection.
Yeah, it's the thing I think I crave most deeply.
Yeah.
I have no shame in saying that.
No, it's
I'm like-
beautiful. That's what everyone should be saying and feeling.
Yeah.
Everyone's so separate.
Yeah.
We have a lot of work to do before people feel that way. you know?
Yeah. And I used to struggle with, before I realised that's what it was, that craving, that genuine connection, I was like, fuck, people think I'm like, I had never asked, I was just assuming, I'm like, do I come across as too much?
You?
That's what I used to think to myself. I'm like, oh, I'm being too intense. No. I can't just do like a little bit. And I used to be like, oh no, just reel it in a little bit, sis. Like you're being a bit much. And now I'm like, no, I don't care if I'm too much.
Good.
I want to know stuff.
Good. Be
about
too
people.
much.
Obviously within what's appropriate, but you know.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm like, I just want to create a space and be in a space that is just lovely and warm and we
Authentic.
can authentic.
Yeah.
We can share and you can share and that's all I want.
Yeah.
So I've kind of cast that self-doubt and that thought out of my mind. I'm like, I don't give a fuck if I'm too much. I actually don't give a fuck if I'm too much.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
I don't care.
That is absolutely like, oh my God.
Because I'm the right amount for the
right people.
For the right people.
That's it. I think that you are just the perfect amount all the time for anyone ever. But if anyone ever thought that you would, I can't even. Haley and I were talking about this. We were like, we need to do a podcast episode literally on this exact topic because we've both been told throughout life so often to just tone it down,
reel it in.
Stop being so loud. You're making a fuss or a scene.
Yeah.
I didn't make a fuss, but
you're
just
too
be
intense.
too loud. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's wild because like before you have that full-on trust in yourself, you trust other people more. And so you take it on, like you fully take it on. You're like, oh, I am too much. You know it about yourself. It's like your belief system is that you are too much. And that is so damaging and insane. It's so crazy. So and then you go through whatever it is that you need to go through to get you to the point where you trust yourself more than anything else. And you're like, I'm not too much at all. No. Someone saying that is completely just a projection of their situation and their view of the world.
I'm like, it's cool if I am.
Yeah. Let it be.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Sweet.
Okay.
Hate that for you.
Yeah. Fun talking about the fucking surf again.
Yawn. Love the surf, hate the culture. I don't hate the culture, I just don't like where it's gone. It makes me sad.
I don't care about
really
any of it. I don't.
The only sport I do care about. I don't even care about it as a sport, I just like to do it. It's such a beautiful thing to do. Not convincing you to surf. I just think it's a really beautiful thing to do. But I don't surf anymore. Not because I don't want to. I really want to. And I do sometimes, occasionally, but hardly ever. Because now that I feel energy so strongly, I get into water, one of the biggest conductors of energy, and I can feel everyone.
And there's always 1,000 people out there.
There's 1,000 people out and they're angry and they all, like, not all, but there's so many people that are just like, this is my wave, this is my spot, my ocean. And it's like, bro, that's not yours.
It's something that used to blow my fucking mind. Anytime my ex-boyfriend used to come home, I'd be like, he'd be just like super ready to go for a surf. Like, I'm so excited. And he'd come home like, how was he? He's like, fuck, this guy was doing this and this guy punched. I'm like, so why do you go?
Yeah.
Every time you come in,
like,
this guy dropped in and this guy was being a cockhead and then this and that. And this guy doesn't know what he's doing. And I'm like, this doesn't sound fun.
No, just acknowledge the blessing that you're even allowed to be, not allowed to, but able to be in the ocean and
Everyone's
surfing.
so angry.
Everyone's so angry. It's like, this is one of the most chillest. You're supposed to be fucking so chill.
Having a
to
good time.
feel, yeah.
And everybody's yelling.
Yeah. There was like a kid got punched by an adult sometime late last year.
That's insane.
Like fully got caught on camera. Someone was recording like someone surfing, and this grown-up went up to a kid and just started boxing him in the head, and then this other dude went and like ripped him off and was like, this is like a 12-year-old child, bro.
I'm like,
are you kidding me?
is anything that serious?
No, right?
Like, obviously no one should be punching children, but even getting angry, oh, fuck you, you're
Even
on
if
my
it wasn't
wave.
a kid, it was an adult. Like, is it
that serious?
Is this the end of the
It's
fucking
a wave.
world? Yeah.
Trust me, I don't know much about anything, but I think there'll be another one. I have crazy, call me crazy, but I think there might be another wave.
Legit. Oh my God.
It's not like, oh, one wave done forever.
Fuck me.
Why are you punching each other?
Why? This is not what it's about. I want to pull everyone out of the ocean. I want to sit them down in a fucking room and be like, you all need to think about what you've done. You all need to think about how you're acting and behaving in this situation.
Here's a slideshow how waves work. There will be another
There
one.
will be more. Here's how to be nice to another human being and just
Oh,
fucking...
it's fucking insane.
So anyway, that's why I don't surf very much anymore. It's yucky.
Because this is all I hear. This is all I heard about. And then you
I
turn
surf
around.
whenever I go something random, like an island.
Yeah.
Or like some back beach, like if some, you know, and Justin's like, hey, you want to come boog? And I'm like, yeah, I'll go boog. Like at least I can still ride a wave and not be around a million people. It's rare. I don't go booging all the time.
I just don't want it. It's just not so funny. I can't even get it out. I'm like, no.
So funny.
And I guess that's kind of something that led to that feeling of being out of place that I was talking about
Yeah,
earlier.
when you said that before, I was like, it would make a lot of sense to you. But you are. Not that you're unwelcome.
No,
But I know exactly
and no
what
one's
I
made
don't
me
want you to
feel
go.
like
I want
that,
you to
but
be
I just
here.
feel
I fucking love that you're nearby. All your friends who love you love that you're nearby. You are such a standout presence in the lives of the people who know you. Like,
I just feel
it's a fucking blessing and a pleasure to know you and to have you around. It's so nice. It's like walking into a museum is what it's like knowing you. It's incredible. It's so fucking interesting. There's so much to look at and listen to. It's incredible.
Oh, wow.
For real. So, but I fully get why you would be like, I don't feel like I have this feeling of belonging here. Because you are like a fucking sore thumb in this town.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, the beaches are beautiful, but it's not my fucking first pick of activity.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, I don't care.
I remember when we first met and you were telling me like, I really prefer the city. And then in my head I was like, no, but I really like her and I really wanted to stay. And I was like, I'll try and convince her to like the beach. And I would like talk to you every now and then and be like, but it's really so nice or whatever. And you'd be like, I'm just more of like a city person. I was like, city's gross. I don't like the city.
I don't want a city.
What if you ended up in a city?
I don't know what it is. And I was laughing because it's the time of year. I get like seasonal depression the wrong way around.
I can fully see that.
Like people get depressed when like the winter rolls around. People are like, oh no. When it gets hot and muggy, I'm like, oh. You won't see me at not that you'd see me at events anyway. Who am I kidding? But like I'm uncomfortable. I'm sweaty. I like to wear pants for starters.
Layers.
You will not catch me in shorts ever.
So true.
Maxi skirts and pants till the day I die.
It's so funny.
So,
You're
and
actually
preferably
iconic.
some sort of leather jacket or leather piece. Boots always. You will not fucking catch me in summer attire.
No,
so I get really sad when it gets really hot. And it happened today. I went out a little bit too late for my walk. And I went out and it's not even sunny. And I was like, it's muggy.
It is muggy.
I was like, it's happening.
Yeah.
It's happening. And I hate it. It makes me so mean.
I'm getting angry and I'm recoiling.
Truly. So I get mean and angry and I don't want to do things.
Oh my God.
I hate it. So yeah, seasonal depression the wrong way around. So I shouldn't be here.
Funny. Oh my God. Literally. Maybe like, I just feel like you have a lot of exploring. I was telling Hayley about you today because she was like, tell me like about what you're doing later. And I was like telling her about you and she was laughing at first because she was like, I can't keep up with how many friends you have. I need a fucking like a whiteboard
and
with everyone's faces.
Who knows who, yeah.
And then she like, I've told her about you before. And I was saying that I was like just giving like a description of you, and I was like giving like a quick rundown, and I've already told her some things. I was like, so she's the one that's been through X, Y, Z, and like blah blah blah. And she was like, oh yeah, and I was like, she was like, so what? And I mentioned your job situation, and she was like, that's fucking hectic, bro. And I was like, I know, it's insane. And she was like, what would she want to do then? Like if she wasn't doing that? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, but I think like I picture her kind of scouring like the back rooms of these old like ancient libraries and ancient literature and books and iconography, and just sort of like piecing things together, and I don't know, just giving us more information about how the world works from doing that. And just, or I was like, or she could just curate the art in a magazine, not a magazine, a museum or a gallery. Or
I would love to run a gallery.
Yeah, you would run a gallery so well. Stuff like that. I was like,
gallery.
That would be amazing. And she was like, wow.
I keep manifesting them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I want to go. That's what I want to do.
You would be so good at that. Europe's a great place for all of that.
I feel confident and comfortable enough to do that now.
You fucking can.
How exciting.
Literally when you said that, I was like, whoa.
Yeah, like I'm not scared anymore.
That's insane. That's huge.
Because it used to make my stomach turn.
Yeah.
The thought of like leaving permanently, and now I'm like, ooh, now I get excited when I think about it. I'm like,
good.
Ooh.
And this was in the space of like a week?
A week.
That's wild. That's massive.
Yeah.
Do you feel like a weight is off your
Yeah, I
shoulders?
do. I was saying to Mum, I was like, this is going to sound fucking insane.
Did she understand that? Sorry.
She's like, yeah, no, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And like, I just feel like this weird weight and pressure that I put on myself has been lifted, and I can just go and do what I need to do.
That's incredible.
To be happy.
I love that.
So yeah, I'm excited, and I want to. I didn't want
really
to
happy
before. I
for
wasn't
you.
ready. I was not ready, and now
You're ready.
I'm ready.
This is incredible because you're like young, you know how to travel, you like traveling alone, you are healthy, you are like, you have so many different interests, so many things that would like spark that desire to like follow a trail on whatever it is that you're interested in at the time and everything. I feel like you're gonna like learn and explore and do.
Yeah, I'm ready
so much.
I'm finally ready to do that. And you know, I'll still cry. It'll still be scary.
Yeah.
But I'm excited about it now. It doesn't make me want to throw up.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, and that's crazy.
That's fucking wild. This has been such a hectic journey.
I know. I'm really like stoked to be here.
Good. That's amazing.
I'm
really
ready.
excited for you and inspired by you and in awe of you and proud of you and just like glad I know you. So lucky I know you. I can't believe I get to watch you live. That's insane.
And look at me, I'm finally going to live. 'Cause I didn't for a while there. I just
You had the pause button on, but
Yeah,
so much
booped
was
around.
happening underneath. Like
booped around.
you were just like
Just floating around.
you were just
And that was cool. But now I'm ready to actually just do it.
yeah.
Whatever it is.
Fuck yeah. Oh my god.
And I'm in no rush to figure out what it is either.
Good.
And that's what excites me. I'm like, I don't know, just fucking figure it out when I get there.
Hell yeah.
I'm not that relaxed about anything.
I love it. That's the feeling I live in now.
Yeah, I've
That,
never,
like,
it's been
just-
a long time.
It's just like
ever,
That's
you know.
incredible. It's so
just-
freeing to be
It
like,
really is. Like,
just put one foot in front of the other and see where you go.
like honestly, was so uptight about things and so nervous about things. I'm like, what? Check Google Maps. If it's going to take longer than it usually does by too much, I'm not going. Things like that. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No, I'm just like ready to just
doing it.
fucking figure it out. I don't know.
Fuck yeah.
Whatever.
You will figure it out. But the thing is, like, that's what it's all about. Just being on the journey and being present in the journey and enjoying and or learning from whichever way it goes, whatever it is that you're doing at the time. Like, I don't know why, like, well, I do know why. It's just, it's a whole other can of fish. Sorry, I just, like, thought about way too much at once.
You're like, whoa, man.
And I was like, wow, you're going to open this up right now? I said no. But just the whole, like, feeling that we have that we always have to have, like, some end goal in sight or some, like, finish line that we have to get to. It's like, that,
dying. Like, the journey is the thing that we're looking forward to.
I'm
Like,
just here for a fucking good time. Because unfortunately, I learned the hard way that you could be dead on the floor like that. So you know what? I'm just here for a good time now.
Yes. Good.
Whatever that time may be.
That's amazing.
No pressure.
Good perspective shift.
Yeah, it's been gorge.
Should we cook dinner?
Let's cook dinner.
Okay. Are these still recording? That one is. This is a good sign. Whoa, falling over. Okay, well, I'm going to end the pod here. So if you're listening and not watching the video, then I hope you enjoyed that. But there's also a fun video of all of that. But it's not that fun. We're sitting on the couch, but you can watch it if you want. If you liked it, share it, please. That's super helpful. And if you want to follow the pod, please do that. Is someone coming in this door?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.